Today we're going to talk about tips and tricks on how to shoot better video with your smartphone. I have a confession to make. I use my smartphone to shoot videos all the time. In fact, the modern smartphone is truly an amazing device. You've got basically an ultra powerful computer that can do all kinds of things. And one of them is creating video and pictures. It doesn't seem to matter what kind of video project that I'm working on. The first thing that we should always do is to make a plan. So if you're going to shoot something, say you're at a wedding or at a kid's recital or something like that, at least have a plan of the kind of stuff that you want to get, and then you can take it from there. Keep it simple, and that way there you'll be ensuring your success. One of the biggest problems I personally had when I started using my smartphone to record video was storage space and battery. When you're walking into your child's recital and you press record, it fills up fast. And I cannot tell you how many times I've been sitting there in the crowd trying to delete pictures to make room to record something extra once I've run out of space. Because video takes up a lot of room. It also tends to burn through your battery very quickly. So my piece of advice for a second tip, make sure your battery's fully charging your phone and make sure you have lots of storage space. My third tip has to do with the lens. First off, most cameras have two. They have one in the front and they have one in the back. The one in the back is usually a higher quality camera. The one in the front is usually lesser quality and lower resolution. And because these things sit in our pocket, those little lenses get dirty. You got little fingerprints on them. It doesn't take much. You can barely even see it, but there's a little smudge. When you shoot through that, it causes problems with quality. So my third tip is to clean your lens. I use my shirt. Probably shouldn't, but I use my shirt. Fourth tip. I have been to so many concerts and events where I see this. The problem is when you're shooting like this, your video is also shot like that. So my next piece of advice is to shoot horizontally. The reason for that is that all video services pretty much out there, other than a few specific internet ones like chat ones and stuff like that, are all set up for that. YouTube, Vimeo, computer screens, LCD projectors, laptops, they're all set to display things horizontally. And I just feel that it looks a little bit more professional when you're filling all the space as opposed to having these two black bars. A big issue that I also see is people that start recording like this and then all of a sudden they realize, oh, I should shoot horizontal, and they start doing that. But what happens is that when you start shooting horizontally, it records that into the frame. So the fact that you turn your phone, although it'll switch here, it doesn't switch when you play back the video. So you'll still be stuck with horizontal video that's being displayed vertically. So if that ever happens, just stop the recording, turn it, start the recording back up in the right orientation, and you won't have any problems. My next tip is going to sound a little strange, and I'm going to argue that getting good audio in a video production is more important than getting good video. And here's my reasoning. If you're going to record something and it's got a radio in the background, there's a dog barking, you can barely hear what's going on, you're going to shut it off. If the video's a little bit bad, it's underlit, it's shaky, well, we've all watched videos like that, and we still watch them if the content interests us. So ideally we want to have both that are great, but I put a little more emphasis on audio to make sure we have clean audio on anything that has narration or anything like that, because you need to hear what's going on. To do that today, I've actually got a little microphone right here. It's plugged in through a cable to my iPad setup. It was about $25. You can also just use your iPhone without a microphone. Just get close, choose a quiet location to record, something that doesn't have a lot. Today we're in a little studio. There's students flying through the hallway here, but it's relatively quiet. And get the mic as close as you can. Right here you can tell that my microphone's actually like inches away from my face. If the microphone was built into my phone or right now I've got an iPad that I'm recording this on, it's about 4 or 5 feet away, so the audio ends up being quite good. You can also get external microphones that plug in, that are shotgun microphones, that are directional, all kinds of stuff. And an important thing to say is that all of this equipment is available here at the Hub. Just come and see us and we can lend you some stuff. Lighting, tripods. We don't have iPhones, but we do have iPads, which is basically the same kind of quality to record your video productions. Next tip is recording the shakes. Nobody wants Blair Witch Project. All of these phones, typically the newer ones now, have built-in image stabilization, and if you ever want to try it out, just record something, shake the camera a bit, and then play it back, and you'll be amazed. It actually works very well. My advice to anybody is if they're doing something to kind of hold it steady like this, use your body as a tripod. If you don't have an extra body, today I'm shooting alone in the studio. I actually have this set up. I've got it on a tripod. This is one that we have here. It's available for loan. But I also have some smaller iPhone-sized tripods that go on your desks that we can loan out to you here that are truly, truly amazing. And they make the job a whole lot easier, especially when you're by yourself. If you do have to do any kind of moves, my advice is to kind of practice them. If you've got lots of storage and you got lots of battery, I say record it. You can always throw it out later if you don't want to use it. And if it's the first time you get it, that's perfect, then you have it. So that's a little tip, a little added bonus tip is record everything and figure it all out in post. Post meaning editing. And we'll talk about that briefly. My next tip has to do with the phone itself. Now these things are great. They have a lot of automatic features. It does automatic exposure, automatic focus, automatic, it's got the stabilization built in it. It adjusts the audio levels automatically. Everything's done pretty much automatically and for you. And 95% of the time, that's what you want. But if you ever get in a situation where your camera's hunting for focus and it's going in and out of focus, or the background is really bright, but you're too dark, there's a way to actually adjust that, and that's just by taking your finger and touching the screen. And what will happen is that a little orange square will come up, and it'll typically say AE/AF. AE stands for auto exposure, and AF stands for autofocus lock. And what it does is it locks the exposure and it locks the focus. So that means that if I go back here, the focus is still here. So I might be a little bit blurry, and as I come into my spot, I'll come in and I'll be correct focus. Also, the exposure won't change. Where if something's going on in the background, if you've ever seen videos that go dark, then bright, then dark, then bright, typically it's because of some sort of brightness in the background that's changing, or some sort of light change that's happening. So this way here is one way to lock that and stop that from happening. So the last part of this whole process is kind of taking all of what you shot and putting it together. That's called editing. Now, I have that kind of stuff here, and I can help you with that in the hub, where I actually have dedicated, powerful computers to do all that kind of work. But you can also do it directly on your device. You can download free software. A really good one that I use is called Splice. It's by a company called GoPro, the sports action camera, and it allows you to do simple editing. There's also music. So if you have something that's simple, you just want to do a couple of shots, throw some pictures in, you can do all of that directly in your smartphone. And what's even nicer about that is that once it's directly in your smartphone, you don't need to transfer any footage to a computer to do it. You can also directly upload it to YouTube or Vimeo, Moodle, whatever. It's actually something that you can do very, very easily, all within your smartphone. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or concerns, just give me a shout. I'm always here to help. Don't feel that if you're not comfortable with the technology, you have to do this all on your own. We have equipment here. We've got myself. I can assist you with the shooting, editing, all of that to make it a seamless process. Often what I see is that for the first time, I kind of go and kind of do it for people. And then once they realize, okay, they're not so intimidated, then people will kind of try it on their own and do that. It's easy to do simple things, and simple things sometimes can be very effective. So hopefully this helps. Give me a shout. Looking forward to doing some video projects with you. We'll see you soon.